In every relationship, especially those with family, we often carry with us the weight of the past, the old patterns, old expectations, and old behaviors that have shaped the way we interact with each other. These patterns can be so ingrained that they define our encounters, even when we long for something different. The challenge lies in meeting someone, especially a family member, without letting the past dictate the present. What would it look like to truly meet them in this moment, without the baggage of what has come before? How can we be fully present, shedding the old scripts, and embracing the opportunity for a new connection? This is the essence of what we're exploring today. The power of presence and how it can free us from the past, enabling us to experience relationships in a more liberated, compassionate, and conscious way. Now, let's dive into how you can approach your relationships with more awareness and clarity, freeing both yourself and those around you from the weight of old patterns. Even more difficult is the prospect of meeting someone with whom you have a lot of history in common. The more you involve them in your past, the more likely it is that they will wish to return to their previous patterns of conduct. As a result of meeting your parents, your wife, and your husband, you are aware of this. After a number of years of marriage, buttons become really set in terms of who you think they are and who they think you are. And this, in turn, determines how you interact with one another. The process of meeting your ex-husband or ex-wife is more challenging, but if you are present at the time and they are content in their bodies, then you are able to meet your beings without the past. The point is not that you are unable to recall the things that they did. Rather, it is that you are not bringing the past into the encounter as an active operating principle. The power of present, which is the power of meeting everyone without the past, just in this now, is what makes you who you are. Meeting everyone without the past does not exist. Being able to avoid encountering the other person as a walking personal history is a tremendously freeing experience. When you were able to meet even your mother and father, with whom some people have a beautiful relationship. Some people grew up in a household that was relatively conscious, and many individuals in this world did not grow up in such a supportive environment. An increasing number of parents were displaying varied degrees of unconsciousness, and hatred had been building up over the course of many years. There are a great number of adult children and parents who frequently have complaints, grudges, and resentments. He doesn't understand me. I get criticized all the time. And he doesn't even want to understand me, are all statements that have been said. My father is my mother, and if you go to visit them, you will undoubtedly experience the same emotion. A feud between you, and then you leave, and the next time it happens again. Finally, you come face to face with them. Upon arriving at the front door, you glance at them while simultaneously experiencing a sensation in the interior of your body. After entering, you take a seat and gaze at them while maintaining the sensation of your inner body. This is because it is now absolutely necessary for you to be rooted. Right now, it is really necessary for you to be rooted in that. Your father then asks you, "Are you still involved in that spiritual airy-fairy nonsense?" This is the traditional saying that you have heard before. What, you still don't have a job? I have been telling you for years that you ought to get a commission. Then you need to be extremely present and just take it there. And then you need to simply say, "Well, yes, I'm still doing that." On the other hand, he is consistent with your father's perspective. After some time has passed, your mother or father will experience a very minor sense of disorientation due to the fact that you are no longer feeding the old patterns. Neither of you is reacting. His or her ego will sense that something is lacking in this situation, and as a result, it will be difficult for them to continue carrying out that script if the other person is no longer actively participating or reacting to the situation. It is sufficient to just state, "This is how it is," and you no longer have any expectations whatsoever. As a result of the fact that the expectations that he or she should behave in a specific manner in order to make me happy are connected to being identified with certain thoughts, that means that things ought to be. For me to be content, he ought to have the ability to comprehend me. The entire thing is a construct that is based on illusion. In the event that he comprehends, or if he is able to differentiate himself from you, you will not be content. At this point, he is aware. There is tranquility or normalcy. What are the new circumstances? None of it. The situation is the same since he does not comprehend me. None of it. You find yourself liberated from the things that you believed you required. From a psychological point of view, you do not require anything when you are linked with idea in presence. Things of a psychological nature are not required, and indeed, you are there. When this occurs, you will be able to observe the patterns that have been ingrained in your mother or father, and it is possible that for the very first time, they may ask you a question that is sincere. What are you really into? Is that something? This has taken place. Individuals have informed me that miracles like this take place. Also acceptable is the case if they do not. There is no actual significance to it. Presentness is accompanied with an acceptance of what is, which is a compassionate acceptance of what is. This acceptance of what is typically means that the human being in front of you is what is. You should show compassion and give them space to be, because presence is the space you have discovered within yourself. It is more spaciousness, formless consciousness, and peace to you. I would be grateful if you could show your appreciation by liking the video, leaving a remark that says "now" to indicate the level of participation you have with the topic, and sharing this information with someone who could benefit from it if you find it beneficial. Thank you in advance for your consideration. Subscribe to our channel if you are looking for additional videos that will help you become a better person, become more self-aware, and make genuine connections with the people around you. If this is something that you are interested in, then you should subscribe to our channel.